I'll just say, what is foreign influence? I think this is a term that's thrown around quite a bit. I'll say at a high level that, different federal grant-making agencies appear to have different definitions, which is at least inconvenient, and if not, impossible to manage in the current environment. They also have different requirements and expectations relating to grantees' management of foreign influence, but in general and in sum, I think what is meant by foreign influence is undisclosed conflicts of interest, undisclosed conflicts of commitment, duplicative funding or overlap, the diversion or theft of intellectual property. And of course, we have the Department of Education getting in the game here too as well, with recent Section 117 reporting requirements that have us increasing our transparency, increasing our reporting on gifts, not just sponsored programs, coming in from foreign entities at the university. So maybe Nancy, I'll pivot to you, and I'm just curious, has NYU developed any routing or screening systems or risk criteria and processes for the review of agreements and awards involving foreign support?
Thanks, Liz. We absolutely have done that. A lot's changed in the past year, I'll say, in terms of just making an extra effort to help and facilitate the faculty in terms of their disclosure. So I'm sure I'm joined by many of the rest of NCURA's members at their institutions who are revising questions in regards to perhaps their annual disclosures, the faculty's annual disclosures around conflict of commitment and conflict of interest. We've been adding questions specific to foreign engagement and the activities that the faculty members are undertaking and conducting in partnership and collaboration with foreign entities and organizations, and just framing the conversation around the fact that we are certainly continue to be supportive of those collaborations, but just in the interest of increased transparency and that trust building, and so that we can educate and help the faculty understand that the university is still fully supportive of those endeavors, but that obviously there just needs to be a higher level and more refined focus on disclosures that meet the requirements of the National Science Foundation, the NIH, Department of Defense, Department of Education, et cetera. As you mentioned, many of the agencies are implementing or clarifying their previous guidance on how those disclosures should be made. With those new clarifications or additional information and the current and pending support and biosketch forms that are coming out, we're trying to walk our faculty through completing those and tie it right back to annual disclosures of interests and activities, as well as our research-specific disclosures. So at NYU, there's an annual disclosure done, and then every time a sponsored project and a proposal is prepared and submitted, they do a research-specific disclosure. So they almost have kind of checkpoints, various checkpoints throughout the year, and multiple times during which they can update their disclosures and provide that transparency and that information.
It's a big cultural change, isn't it? I mean, a lot of what we have to do, maybe even under the same policies, is essentially meaning different practices at our institutions, right? Given the current enforcement environment and the emphasis on disclosures. At Princeton, at least, and many of the institutions I've been at in the past, what's been on the current and pending, what's been in the facilities and resources section has been a reflection of the home institution sort of scope of responsibilities and obligations. But now it seems like the federal agencies want us to go beyond the home institution and understand what's happening outside of it, which is a really challenging thing. It's not like you can go run a report on that sort of thing.